Last week, Drew Brees made comments about peaceful protests by NFL players who chose to kneel during the national anthem. He has since apologized, but teammate Malcolm Jenkins made an emotional social media post in response. Today, he spoke with CBS This Morning.
I'm glad that I chose to post that video. I recorded that video before, and Drew actually reached out to me before I could post it. And we had that same conversation, the same things I said in the video, I said to Drew Brees. But I thought that it was important that our country understand, the pain that Black people have been dealing with and that Black people carry around. I think we're in that moment where we need truth before we can have reconciliation. And that was an opportunity for me to share my truth, not only to Drew Brees, but to, everybody who's watching.